The process of gentrification consists of people, usually middle class, moving into a disinvested neighborhood that has the potential for investment and redevelopment. The people that move into these neighborhoods have been referred to by Richard Florida and Neil Smith as urban pioneers and the creative class, described as being tolerant of inner city problems and looking for diverse areas to live in. In this transition, the gentrifiers capitalize on low property prices and redevelop them, which in turn inflates their values. The overall character and culture of the neighborhood is also deeply affected, which can make long-time residents feel alienated and lead to indirectly displacing them, since they no longer feel part of the community they once knew. Brixton is an inner city area in South London that is known as the heart of Lambeth's black community. It has undergone drastic demographic change throughout history, being a middle-class Victorian suburb to becoming poorer and more working class in the first half of the 20th century. After World War II, there was also a large wave of immigrants from Jamaica that arrived, known as the Windrush generation, forming the prominent Afro-Caribbean community. However, it was a socially deprived area that had high levels of unemployment, poor housing, and crime. Being a predominantly Afro-Caribbean community, there were racial tensions with the police due to stop and search procedures, which triggered riots in 1981 and 1985. Demographic changes compared between 2001 and 2011 match what Florida refers to as a fast-growing, highly educated and well-paid segment of the workforce. Since Brixton is distinguished by its multi-ethnic community, it appeals to young, middle-class creatives as they are often drawn to areas that are inclusive, which he defines as openness and diversity to all ethnicities, races and walks of life. With a 14.2% increase in property prices in Brixton over the last year and quickly rising rents, this confirms the process of gentrification, as these prices cannot be afforded by existing residents but appeal to those of a middle-class economic status, in turn displacing the existing residents. Loretta Lees refers to this as a process of colonization by more privileged classes. Examples of recent evictions include Clifton Mansions on Cold Harbour Lane and the Mansion Blocks on Rushcroft Road, home to squatters for over 10 years. Clifton Mansions were sold to developers and the flats are now on the market with the rent price at £2,100 per month, reiterating John Powell and Marguerite Spencer's argument that the council and developers are manipulating the housing market to the benefit of gentrifiers. Brixton is promoted as the poster child for urban regeneration and assumes that when a neighborhood has a mix of different household incomes and economic statuses, the social capital and benefits that gentrification brings will trickle down from the middle class to the working class residents. As the process of gentrification follows, there is a demand for amenities that cater to the incoming residents. An example of this is the bar Champagne and Fromage, opening at roughly the same time as a soup kitchen. This example shows that the urban renaissance that is, as Lees notes, motivated by, and indeed sold to us as, an attempt to reduce socio-spatial segregation is a false proposition, since the new community forming does not interact with the existing one and does not respond to the problems they face. The Grade 2 culturally listed Granville Arcade that houses the market used to be home to many reggae record shops and Caribbean food stalls. However, now foods are sold from all over the world, as well as pop-up cafes opening but selling at prices that the existing community cannot afford. The existing residents do not benefit from this, therefore it creates the opposite of what social mixing intends to do, as it forms a socially divisive regeneration. Roland Atkinson notes that gentrification thrives on the systematic inequalities of urban society, which can be evidenced through the displacement of residents and the regeneration of these properties that cater for and embrace middle-class features of the area, and ask the question, who are the changes in Brixton catering for?